of the Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Everywhere you go, your manners are with you, and they leave their mark. They help you feel sure of yourself, too, and they make an impression on people.
Demonstrators wreaked havoc in Washington, D.C. and destroyed storefront windows.
It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation.
Make political commitments to curb population growth.
We didn't simulate this. We didn't practice.
What the hell do they let the reporters in there for?
MK Ultra.
8 million adults are affected by it.
Don't try it.
There will be no outcome that leaves Saddam Hussein in power.
A brand new group called ISIL.
We're speeding up training of ISIL forces.
The one person who wasn't random was the security guard.
America was founded as a constitutional republic.
Kick the incumbents out. Send citizens to Washington.
I will totally obliterate the deep state. We will obliterate the deep state.
Alter State is brought to you by Goldco. Gold loves the Trump headline, and it's soaring. From the day he first took office, gold prices have climbed, gaining nearly $400 per ounce since his second term began. Why? Gold thrives in uncertainty. It's a time-tested safe haven, immune to government meddling, a shield against inflation, and a proven way to protect your wealth when markets wobble. With Trump's second term heating up, will gold smash new records in 2025? Nobody knows how high it could go. But smart investors aren't waiting to find out. Take control today. You could even qualify for up to 10% bonus and free silver. Discover an IRS-approved way to diversify your savings with gold and silver, tax and penalty free. Get your free gold and silver kit delivered straight to your door and learn how to safeguard your future. Visit badlandsgold.com to claim your kit and start building a strong portfolio today. That's badlandsgold.com. Don't miss out. And welcome to another episode of Altered State with your two favorite knuckleheads.
What's up, brother? Two favorite knuckleheads. I'll take it. Absolutely. I saw a plan today that was being announced, Brad, to extend Manhattan out into the Hudson River, which is kind of basically like what they've done like over the years. I mean, like, I guess Manhattan was a lot smaller when they got there, and they just kept like dumping landfill out further and further. And that's one of the reasons that it's so prone to flooding now. And
is that adds to flooding? Okay, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, because
not cool, but fascinating.
Previously, all of that land, I mean, obviously it was, underwater because it was inside the Hudson River. And there would have been marshland that would have helped with the absorption of all of that floodwater when it came in from heavy storms and stuff like that. And they didn't build it up. Like, they build it like at or below sea level. They just kept pushing it further and further out into the water. And so now the plan is to push it out even further and add like an additional 180,000 homes, which I guess could be considered apartments, as well as like brownstones and all of these things. But the plan is to make it resistant to flooding because they will build it above sea level. But what is that going to do for all of the land that's been added, which is at or below sea level inside like lower Manhattan? It's basically going to make it just as floodable, if not more floodable, because it's not going to have anywhere to go. It's just going to come around all of the land that's built out and up. And then you're going to have like two levels of like people living in Manhattan. You're going to have this much more desirable land, which has been built up, likely, I don't know, concrete pylons or something like that. It's going to be much higher. And then all of that lower level land, which is pre-existing, is probably going to lose a lot of value, I would think.
Yeah, well, anytime it's funny, this is something that you run into a lot of times when you're building a building, and you're closer to the water than the tall building that you're building in front of, and they're about to all lose their views, they get so mad, dude. They yell at you, like not profusely or nothing, but mostly they'll go to the town halls and protest it, but they'll even yell at people, and we're like, hey man, I don't know, I'm just here to build it. But it's a big thing, and that will whatever it is, it's going to meet resistance. They're obviously just looking for money. I'll put this up here. They've not extended, I mean, to the best of my knowledge, it's the island of Manhattan right here. I don't think they've extended a ton. The only one I really know about, and it might be some of this out here, but when they were excavating the trade center, this is the trade center site right here. When they excavated that, this was the limits of the island right there. The West Side Highway, for anyone who's familiar, that was on the water. And even when they first built the towers, it was still on the water. And this is all built out. This is the whole financial district.
So I remember
it's all added.
I remember them talking about like when they were like excavating for buildings, like they were finding like old ships and stuff. And basically what they would do is like they would have a ship that would, you know, be no longer usable. Maybe the hull would be cracked. And so they would like plant it on the shore, and then they would throw earth into it, and they would just keep doing that. They would like use that as like a base so that it could be filled up. So I have a picture right here from National Geographic, which illustrates, and of course it's freaking locked. Let me open up the image in another tab. Open image in new tab. There we go. Okay, so if you can, I can present, and then you can put it on screen. So there it is. Okay, so you can pull that up now. So you can see this would have been original Manhattan when it was a lush green, you know, like beautiful verdant Garden of Eden. Compared to what it is now. So you can see that, you know, it's not
okay. Like, more than just that side then.
Yeah. So they extended it out pretty much all the way around. And it's pretty stunning, like what they are able to do. Now, there was another plan, and let me switch tabs so you can see this one. For years, they've kind of been talking about this. This would have been, I don't know, I don't know what year this was, but you can just tell by looking at it, this is at least like mid-century. And they were talking about extending it out 50 square miles from where it was at the time that this was published. Wow. And you can see here, you know, they've got these berms, these concrete berms that would be built in, and maybe underneath the buildings, these are like drainage tubes or something like that. And you can see, oh, this would be subway. That's what that would be. And look, and they have the subway going under the water, even where it is. And so they were attempting to do this at some point in the past. But the video that I saw was on X here, and the guy who has proposed it was the one who was talking about it. And, you know, it's not a new idea, but
it looks like they're looking to fill up the whole bay there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go. This ideally would be what they would do right here. And so like he was saying, like, you know, because all of this additional land would be created. Well, and isn't this is an island right now,
That's
isn't
Governor's Island, yeah.
Is Governor's Island, is that where the Statue of Liberty is, or is that where that it's like basically
the Statue of Liberty is just to the left of it. See that little island?
The little left? Okay, I see it. Yeah.
And then Ellis Island's the bigger one just north of it.
So is Governor's Island where they had like the TB farm? Like where they had like a tuberculosis wasting place?
I'm not super familiar, but it is built up, and I know they do things there. I think there was like military forts on it.
Okay.
At one point.
I know that there's another little island which is too small to be inhabited, and it's basically just a place for like seabirds to nest nowadays.
Yeah. There are. It's funny. I used to take the ferry right up that. It's a really scenic. That's the main reason to take it route. And there are here and there'll be like little things where maybe there'll be a little lighthouse, or not even like a lighthouse, just like a light or something on it, just so ships don't hit it. And then, or birds. Yeah, there's a couple things like that.
Okay, so Bill Reed says Governor's Island was a Coast Guard training base. There is some other island in this area that used to be like a TB convalescing location. And hold on, let me look this up.
Interesting. Okay.
Island in New York that was a TB hospital. Actually, it might have been Typhoid Mary that was there. North and South Brother Island. North Brother Island in the East River once housed Riverside Hospital. This one is
never even heard of that. North Brother Island?
Yeah, it's totally deserted now. And hang on, I will share this page. And okay, there we go. New York's deserted island. You can pull that up. Okay, and I'll make this larger. All right, so deserted by humans more than 50 years ago, North Brother Island has become a desolate jungle despite its uber urban location. So I only learned about it because I watch all these urban explorers on YouTube and stuff.
Oh, it's right by Rikers. Okay, so that's on the north end of the Manhattan.
Yeah, so you can see it from above, and it's got all of this wrecked, all these wrecked buildings on it and stuff. North Brother Island and South Brother Island, and you can go there. You're not supposed to, but yeah, this was like a TB hospital at one time. There was also veterans housing, an adolescent drug rehabilitation center, all of it abandoned in the 1960s.
That's supposed to be like a really bad, like a current. Kind of a bunch of currents all hit right at the top of the East River there. Okay. So this is kind of something where it would be a little more dangerous than your normal thing at least to swim out to, probably for a boat, although boats go through here. So.
Okay, I was right. Typhoid Mary. Typhoid Mary resided at Riverside as a quarantine patient for 26 years in the early 1900s. Identified by the health department as the first asymptomatic carrier of typhoid in the United States, Mary Mallon, who worked as a cook in the food industry, was deemed responsible for multiple outbreaks of typhoid and was banished to Riverside in 1907. Yeah, she was a cook, and so she's working in a kitchen. Is that where E. Jean Carroll lives? No, that's where she ought to live. And so Typhoid Mary worked in the kitchen, and she had typhoid, but she wasn't symptomatic, and so she was just giving it to everybody. And they went and basically arrested her and threw her on this island because... they couldn't have her giving people typhoid anymore.
I can throw her on an island.
Yeah. Sorry, bitch. We're not gonna. We need to address this public health concern. So, if I go back to this tab, you can see just all of these different images of what it used to look like. Look at that, 1851, when it was. This is like Gangs of New York right here.
Yeah.
Okay. And look at that. So that little building, what is that circular building, Brad? Do you know what that is?
I do not off the top of my head. No. It looks like there's part of where Battery Park is now.
Okay. So, I mean, if that's...
So that was its own thing? Oh, it says Castle Clinton, it's called.
Castle Clinton. Okay. So, yeah, if this is Battery Park right there on the tip, then whatever this was, it was in the water before. And
whoa, so they built all this up around that.
Yeah, built up everything. So I'm fascinated by this plan, by the possibility that this might happen. I mean, there are so many people living in New York and so many, like such a need for housing. I mean, obviously, if you could build 180,000 new properties inside, whatever that would be, I would imagine people would be doing it. But the question then becomes, who's going to pay for it? Right. I mean, is it all going to be private development? What about all the infrastructure that goes in there? If they're going to put that on to the taxpayers. I mean, people are already paying out the ass in New York. You have a huge problem with the rent stabilized apartments. All of those people basically living in squalor because landlords are not going to update a rent subsidized apartment because they're never going to get their money out of it. You're basically just dumping money into it. I think I saw something about a building. I want to say it was in the Bronx over the weekend where like the corner of the building fell off into the street. It might have been Chicago, but there was like a gas leak.
Could be the Bronx.
It could be the Bronx. I mean,
it feels Bronx-ish.
I felt like it was a Bronx-ish type of thing that might have happened. But there was a building that fell apart because of a gas leak. Let me see. Was it New York gas leak building?
I would imagine they'd have to build up. The build up part would have to fall on New York City.
Okay, this was New York right here. Chunk of NYC building collapses in possible explosion. Look at this. The whole corner of the building fell off.
Oh, man.
My old phone.
That's horrifying, dude.
It is. Nobody was hurt. Nobody inside the building. Nobody on the ground either.
It was that. Well, wait till it comes back up. Were like our apartments exposed by this? Is it just facade?
Not sure. This must have been right after it happened. Look at all that dust.
Whoa, look at that, dude.
That's probably a stairwell, if I had to guess.
Oh, maybe a stairwell. Yeah, that would make total sense.
But dang.
Oh, man, dude.
I mean, it's very possible that apartments could be exposed. I mean, you've got windows.
That looks like, does it say the Bronx? That could be the Bronx or North Manhattan, like Washington Heights type style and stuff.
So, yeah, it is the Bronx. Yeah.
It is the Bronx. Okay.
and it's a public housing development, too.
Yeah.
The whole building you heard a boom and the thing just exploded and fell down just like that. Somebody in the building next to me, they said that even their window even fell. It's on the 16th floor.
What's going on? That was a gas leak? Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's scary, man.
That does look very facade-ish.
That's either an elevator or a stairwell.
Yeah.
Something. Or, but there's no openings per floor.
No.
What the fuck is that? Is that some kind of vent?
It could have been, maybe it's like, some type of a vent, or perhaps that's just where utilities were. Maybe the gas utility was there. So
something. A lot of times they do them on the back of the elevator shafts, but then every now and then there will be a cavern where they'll run utilities. So gas leak, maybe they're running gas and other shit up there.
Okay, so the housing authority said in a statement it's investigating. It will still determine the extent of the damage. The building has a couple of open violations against it. There was a work stoppage, which is still active in June. Order was related to a violation of plumbing that may have been defective, not working, or poorly maintained. 2 other violations on the property are still active. One from February 2024, building failure to file a report on facade safety and inspection. Other violations deal with the New York City Housing Authority inspection report that found the building's facade to be unsafe. Okay, I would say, considering they have multiple violations related to facade, that's probably what happened. There are also 3 open violations against the property that deal with non-safety issues on boilers.
This makes sense. Yeah, Foxhole Rasta says standpipe for the boiler room. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. We're lucky this didn't result in a loss of life, but we can't be relying on luck to keep our community safe. So in these New York City housing authorities, these public housing developments, I mean, this is owned by the city. Am I right here?
Yeah, most of them. Yeah. That's public. That's a Section 8 housing. They call them the projects.
Well,
also.
so I mean, but I guess I'm asking because I know that you can be a private developer or owner of a building or a house or an apartment condo, and you can apply to receive Section 8 housing. So you can take Section 8 housing applicants and then you submit that to the government. The government will pay you for the Section 8 portion of the money, and then the tenant will pay you the 20% or whatever it might be. But I always thought that in the big housing developments, those were the publicly owned buildings.
Yeah, they call those projects. I think I assumed anyway, most of my life, that the projects are owned by New York itself. Okay. But the one thing a lot of them would do, and I always wondered, this has got to suck if you're buying it. I've built buildings where the first however many floors would be relegated to Section 8 because you get massive discounts if you're building a building and you designate some of it for lower income or not necessarily even Section 8, but lower income. And then you're doing a 50-story building in the epic part of Manhattan. So they're going to be charging bang for those upper floors. So what are you doing? They're going to be walking through welfare to go to their $1 million apartment. I don't know. I always wondered how that went over with some of those purchasers. But
yeah.
But that's sometimes they'll do that. They get lots of subsidies for that. And then if you put green stuff, some of the green technology is cool. It's not all woke. Some of it's practical and just kind of newer ways to conserve energy and things. But
I mean, I've got no problem with that, right? If we can actually save money on utilities and, do things more intelligently, like that's one thing. But, spending hundreds of millions of dollars to put solar panels on like a northeastern roof, which is going to get sun maybe 2 to 3 months, like reliably out of the year, like that, you're never going to get your money back on that. Like by the time you get your money back, the efficiency of the solar panels will have completely exhausted the owner, and it's not going to be something you're going to be able to recapture your money on. There was something else, Brad, that came out that I thought was highly relevant, and I thought that we should definitely pull it up. If you'll give me just a second, I no longer have control over StreamYard, and I wanted to pull up this article because it was a revelation, and it's something that I felt was making such a lot of sense. If you just consider what we are seeing, recently. Okay, so did you hear that? Yeah, I can't pull it up. There we go. Israel is paying influencers $7,000 a post.
And I just yarmulke, dude. I'll do a couple of fake posts. I'll just tell everyone on the show it's fake before I do it.
Listen, I just want to go on record and say that if Israel would pay me $7,000 a post, I will never show things like this again. Hold on, I got more. I will never show things. Oh God, when does this happen to me? Oh man. Okay. We're gonna try this a different way. Let me image
Shut
file
it down.
There we go. Let me see. What else will I never show? Sort by date. I can't pull it up because it's the format. Okay. Well, I'll also never show this one for me. I'll never show something like this again.
No, don't do it.
Just in case anybody's unclear as to what this is. This is the most technologically advanced attack that we've seen in the modern age. This is literally a flying go-kart, or they call it a paraglider as well. These are the tragic events of Hamas on October 7th. What I was actually going to show was a collage of people partying along with this, and then like a whole bunch of them in the air. And I don't know if we talked about, I don't know if I did show this on this show, but I found testimony from IDF soldiers after October 7th who testified in the Israeli Knesset that they received a stand down order on that morning.
Yes. Yeah. I've heard several instances of this. I mean, they almost had to. It's such a secure area.
Yeah.
It's crazy that this is what penetrated.
Yep, absolutely. Hold on. I had another good one.
Sleep State says, I chill for Israel for that post.
For $7,000? Okay. Well, share the next one, Brad. Share the next one. The one that's down there.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wait a second. What does this one have to do with Israel?
Wait, what?
I'm just asking a question here, but if anybody knows why I would bring up a picture of the Kennedy assassination.
Well, that got swept under the rug, huh?
I'm confused.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got another good one. This is actually directly with this, but we know about this one because we talked about this before. The Yad Kennedy Memorial in Israel.
I don't know if we did talk about this one.
Oh, actually. God. No. Okay.
I've never seen this. I thought that from afar before my eyes focused. I thought that was Devil's Tower for half a second.
It does kind of look like Devil's Tower. And it's the memorial to John F. Kennedy that was built in Israel by Ben Gurion after the assassination. And and it's meant to look like a tree that's been cut down. Like, a powerful tree that was sawed down in its prime. And it's also one of the ugliest monuments that I think could be made. It's very mid-century modern, like kind of interesting in a brutalist sort of way. But I don't really feel that it does much to invoke like the positive memories of John F. Kennedy. But I mean, if you think that maybe the Mossad had a part in assassinating him, it might be perhaps something that is not necessarily meant to be flattering. But
when they released this recent batch of the JFK files, isn't that what came out? That a lot of people thought Mossad had a hand in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like what we heard with Charlie, that apparently many people in the administration currently thought that perhaps Israel would have something to do with it. I think that actually has a lot to do with why we're seeing influencers paid $7,000 a pop. Okay, so collectively, I guess the Bibi's government has paid nearly $1 million on this endeavor, and roughly $600,000 of that has gone towards influencers. They've admitted that they have a stable of maybe like 19 to 24 American influencers. If anybody has any guesses on who might be among those people, I don't think that it's too difficult to figure that out. There is this one influencer. There was actually, her name is like Emily Saves America. And somebody had published DMs where basically they were talking about hooking her up with people who would be paying her to post stuff like this. Like the messages were there, and she was like, I need to make some cash, and then all of a sudden she started posting in this very particular way. And I
wonder how much Laura Loomer has got.
Oh my God. If I would have to guess that Laura Loomer is definitely among them.
Still want to say, I'm waiting to see her reaction on the Qatar EO. I'm sure it's delightfully crazy.
What's so funny is like every time I see somebody just talk about the behavior of the Israeli government, and then people like now do Qatar. Okay, well, if Qatar had an outsized level of influence inside the United States, then that would be something to talk about. But I mean, they clearly don't. And you've got so what
Where's
I'm
K-Pac?
looking for. QPAC. Yeah. What's interesting also is that Marjorie Taylor Greene responded to that original story from hold on, I can tell you the publication that put it out. What was their name? Oh man, I have it.
I found it. She did react.
Yeah. So she said, "Hey, guess what?
I knew it had to be something.
If you are accepting money, what about assuring our own safety from Qatar? We just signed a security agreement. Qatar is not going to attack the United States. Qatar has not been attacking the United States.
What is freaking?
She's so single-minded about this stuff, which is what
I don't
makes
want to die
it.
for Qatar, do you?
No, I don't want to die for Israel either. I don't care who it is. I don't want to die for another country.
Listen, $7,000, and I'll never post about this book. Ever. A single page from that book. That's my asking price.
That's all it takes is that one check, and I'll never mention the bloody rituals.
I think it's about time to dust this guy off.
I mean, as far as I know, Qatar is not like pumping a bunch of money into American influencers. And if they were, then that would be reflected in FARA filings, right? And so what what MTG was saying, like, hey, anybody who is an American is accepting this money and posting like this, you have a responsibility to register as a foreign agent. And if you don't, you're in violation of the law. So I would imagine that some keen-eyed Anons are probably going to be keeping an eye on those filings to see exactly who does register as a foreign agent, because it's significant. And I think we need to keep an eye on that. You know, I mean, anybody who is posting in that way, I feel a certain kind of way about it, and I feel like it needs to be talked about.
Well, I feel like lobbying should be relegated to the American people, right? I mean, the spirit of it is we're supposed to get together and lobby for the things we want, but all it becomes is these foreign interests and these big money lobbyists who are hemorrhage freaking millions and millions of dollars into these things to lobby Congress. That all needs to be cut out. It needs to just be brought down to the American people. I don't want foreign governments. Why do we have foreign government influence in anything? And by the way, I joke about that stuff and things, but yeah, I have nothing against the Israeli people. I have nothing against the state of Israel.
Two separate issues here. Two separate issues.
Exactly. And they clearly have a faction that is operating on a global scale shittily, kind of like the American deep state and things that we've gone over about the CIA and FBI and a lot of bad actors in our own institutions have done over the years. They clearly have the same problem massively, yet for some reason you're not allowed to talk about theirs, which really is starting to bother people. Like that is starting to erode right now before our eyes. And there's a panic, and then the panic is causing things like this, like massive amounts of money to post positive things and pushback. It's that Qatar EO. It's funny, it's dated the 29th, but it's John was pointing this out, and I thought it was a little weird when I opened it up today. I'm like, first I was waiting for it to be on the top, and I was like, where is it? And then I start scrolling down, and I see it's the 29th because it was only announced today. After Netanyahu left, right? And it's a little bit of one of these, because they bombed Qatar at the beginning of the month. Israel bombed, what was it, like 6 or 7 countries within a couple day period. To start September, one of them being Qatar. And they're talking about, well, you know, it's Hamas leadership and all that stuff. Dude,
there was a ceasefire, and they were supposed to be negotiating to bring everything to a close, and then obviously to get the hostages back. But most importantly, I mean, that's a sovereign nation, and Qatar was offering them that place to stay so that they could safely engage in the negotiation. Now, you know, in terms of like the country of Qatar having a lobbying presence in the United States and lobbying directly to Congress, 100%. Okay. Every nation on planet Earth has that. Qatar Qatar is obviously wealthier than some other nations, but Israel has that too. But because they have AIPAC, which has the special carve out to say that they're not a foreign lobby, because the people that are doing the lobbying on behalf of Israel are actually American citizens. They apparently don't have a lobbying presence in the United States, but I mean, that's a disingenuous way to look at it. And, you know, if you bring it up on Twitter, people will be like, you know, Israel doesn't have a lobby. Well, you know, okay, not officially, but they definitely have a lobby because they have AIPAC. And of course they had the Anti-Defamation League, which is now totally persona non grata, and, you know, big influence in the Southern Poverty Law Center as well. And you know, both of them have lost all of their glitz and glory. Since 2016, Qatar as a country total has spent $256 million on lobbying, and that would be directly to Congress. Now, I have no idea how much AIPAC has spent since 2016. I wonder, I could probably look it up. Let me look it up.
There is no way it is less than 250 million. That whatever you just said, Qatar in the last 10 years. But yeah, combined, dude, there just seems to be a extremely strong presence. Again, Netanyahu's here all the time, and then he always goes and he always tries to make he'll say whenever he's got the mic, and Trump, you've been the best president for Israel ever, and I say it all the time, and you're the best country for freedom. And he always tries to say things. He knows what he's doing. He knows that angers a swath of Trump's base. There's also been rumors that he's been going around telling people that he controls Trump. And I got to tell you, man, if that's true, if he's really going around saying that sort of shit, well, then you don't know Donald Trump, because that's got to be the dumbest move ever, especially if you guys do have some sort of working relationship. Donald Trump doesn't seem like the type of guy who likes to hear things like, hey, this guy's saying he controls you. So I'm pretty sure he will spite fuck you to death forever if that's the case. So, well, and the fact that he made Netanyahu take a call from Qatar while they were sitting in the Oval Office and apologize in front of everybody. I mean, that was a real sign. Okay, pull up the page that I have shared at the bottom. Yeah. Okay, so this is AIPAC for 2024. So for 2024, they had to spend in terms of lobbying of around $3.3 million, $3 million in 2023. They had total contributions to them in 2024 of $51,848,113. They spent outside of Congress $37.8 million. So we don't know where that is. But you can take a look at their top donors. So these are top receipts. Is this where they gave money? This must have been where they gave money. That looks like, yeah. Okay. First of all of the things that they officially gave money to, they're all liberal Democrat causes. So Hakeem Jeffries, almost 900 grand.
Yes. The only Republican that they gave to was Don Bacon, who's a total rhino, and they gave almost 700,000 to.
That's weird. I thought they hated Bacon.
Well, apparently not. Mostly $5 million to Standing Strong PAC. 2.5 million to Wesley Bell. He's a Democrat that's Missouri. 2.4 million to George Latimer, candidate in New York. Jackie Rosen, 1.2 million, Democrat, Nevada. Bob Menendez, who is no longer in New Jersey.
He's a gem.
Blue Wave Action, 950,000. Hakeem Jeffries, as stated, 866,000. Josh Gottheimer, 797,000. Let's just take a look. So we don't have 2023 on here, but we can look at 2022. No Republicans in their top recipients, but the number one United Democracy Project, $10.5 million. Glenn Ivey, 720,000. So yeah, less than $1 million to all of these candidates. Let's just shits and giggles. Let's just go back to 2020 and we'll see. Okay, so wow. So the organization itself did not donate. Rather, the money came from the organization's individual members or employees or owners and those individuals' immediate family members. So that's how they're getting around stuff. But I don't know if the 2020 was like this because of COVID, or if maybe
Pete Buttigieg, they're giving out a cool $7,000 nowadays, $50.
I don't know, maybe. In 2018, oh gosh, I mean, they're showing receipts far less. What happened in 2022? Things really ramped up in 2022. Maybe that's because they were in the midst of a major run against President Trump. And, I mean, I'm looking at this.
Well, 2022 is when it is. Oh no, that's the Russian-Ukraine war. Okay.
Yeah. So let's see what Standing Strong PAC does. So it's a committee. This is a committee in single candidate support. It's Adam Schiff's super PAC.
Oh, great.
So 2024, they gave $5 million to Adam Schiff's super PAC. Let's check out what the United Democracy Project is. Hold on. Just running up here for back to Open Secrets. The United Democracy Project. I think it's another super PAC.
It seems like it.
It's a nonpartisan super PAC that is actually liberal Democrat. And they are affiliated with the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee. They have donated $37 million in total expenditures, $14 million for Democrats, but they're showing $20 million against Democrats and $3 million against Republicans. So I don't know. I think that they basically just vote for whoever is the party, who's the guy for Israel that year. Whatever it is they're looking to achieve.
I think AIPAC definitely gives money to right-wing candidates as well, but
they totally
big
do.
money. Yeah, it goes.
Big money's going to Democrats, but I mean, I wanted to point that out and look at like the big money where it was going, because Charlie had made that comment that secular Zionist Jews needed to understand that they were supporting causes that were basically bad for them as people, because they were supporting all of these overtly left-wing and radical causes. But I have a theory about that, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And what appears to be bad, meaning that these left-wing causes end up, primarily attacking Jews in Israel, that actually strengthens the nation of Israel and kind of galvanizes them against the radical Islamic causes that they want to draw attention to and that they want to essentially dismantle, right? Because, I mean, it's the same reason that Israel would support Hamas, because they needed a counter to the PLA. The PLA was too legitimate, right? I mean, they had the Oslo Accords. Isn't that what were being signed by Arafat, and who was the guy that was assassinated after he signed them? We just talked about it the other night. Who was the Israeli PM who signed Oslo Accords? Yitzhak Rabin.
Rabin, yes. Okay.
Yeah. So Rabin was, he signed the Oslo Accords. He was going to recognize Palestinian statehood in the PLA. PLA had moved away from terroristic, actions, and they were too legitimate. They had to have a radical leftist or a radical Islamic threat that rose up to fill the vacuum once Yasser Arafat had been killed. Hamas was there, they took over, and, they funded the rise of them, okay? They may not have written checks to Hamas, okay, but they supported the people who would end up creating it, and it was, it's an open secret. I mean, it was Netanyahu, who didn't he reach out to Qatar and ask them to fund Hamas to the tune of like $30 million a month?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
It gave them everything they wanted to do. They've been dying to take over the West Bank, and do exactly what they're doing right now.
Yeah,
the Gaza Strip, and the West Bank, but the Gaza Strip. Yeah, and they've been dying to do this, and it gave them permission. So it's kind of it parallels a lot of the 9/11. That's why it's almost ironic, and it's like a cell phone when they're like, "This is our 9/11." Yeah, we noticed, bro. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely goofy at this point. And I gotta say, man, taking the hostages and what Hamas did, whether that was really deep state factions in Israel using Hamas to do it for this purpose, or whether they just did it on their own, either way, because that's a really sad situation. October 7th was a really horrible situation.
Absolutely.
And then we do want these hostages to come back at any cost. But what's happening? I don't know how many of you guys see the videos of what they're doing to the Gaza Strip. They're just pummeling it to ruin. It's rubble right now. Massive spots of it are rubble. That's like if there was, imagine if something happened where there was like a terrorist cell in New York, and they
just bombed Brooklyn.
Right, yeah. And all of a sudden they're just bombing Brooklyn into rubble. Oh, well, we have to get the Bloods are there, and they just pulled off this horrible attack. It's really sad to watch, dude. There is no way around it. And then again, like I said, they've been bombing all over the place. They've just been bombing all over the Middle East now. This was like they're in to go crazy. and it's souring the entire world on them. They can't.
Yeah.
I don't think they can fathom how bad this is for anyone who was ever supportive of Israel.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, and the argument is, well, Hamas lives amongst the people of the Gaza Strip. Well, of course they do. I mean, like, it's a very small area. Where else are they going to live? But you've got a generation of people who have grown up under this situation. It's not hard to get people to join the cause, so to speak. It would be like if they, like you said, there are some terrorists who are living in Brooklyn, okay, and they just go and firebomb Brooklyn indiscriminately. And they say, well, we had to get the terrorists. Okay, well, because the terrorists are the people living in Brooklyn. Okay, but there's obviously going to be some people living in Brooklyn who are not terrorists. But we had to get the terrorists. So, I mean, it makes up for it. And I mean, war is hell. And the whole thing is just completely foobarred at this point. Like, you're not going to find somebody who's innocent on either side. And what it requires is something like what President Trump has just done. And there's actually like massive support among virtually the entirety of the Middle East in favor of President Trump's plan to bring peace to Israel and the people of the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. Hold on. Donald Trump posted something today with a whole bunch of statements from people. Here we go. Statements for support of peace in the Middle East. And all it's going to require is for both sides to come together and say, okay, like, we'll go ahead and do this, and we can legit have peace there. Is there going to be concessions from people on both sides? Absolutely. But what's the alternative? You just continue to kill each other for ever and all eternity. If you can add that. Yeah. So here we go. We have from Australia. Australia affirms the plan's commitment to denying Hamas any role in the future governance of Gaza and calls on Hamas to agree to the plan, lay down its arms, and release all remaining hostages. China says we welcome and support all efforts conducive to easing tensions. New Zealand, we urge the parties to seize this important opportunity. EU Commission, welcome President Donald Trump's commitment to end the war in Gaza. European Council, two-state solution remains the only viable path. France, I expect Israel to engage resolutely on this basis. Germany, the deal is a unique opportunity to end the horrific war. Italy, Hamas has the opportunity to end the war and release the hostages. Russia, of course, we want this plan to be implemented. Spain, it's time for the violence to cease and the immediate release of hostages to take place. Turkey, I commend U.S. President Donald Trump's efforts. PM Starmer, we call on all sides to come together. Arab Muslim leader joint statement, and the financial ministers of Jordan, UAE, Indonesia, Pakistan, Turkey, KSA, I don't know what that is, Qatar, and Egypt all reaffirmed their joint commitment to work with the United States to end the war. Israeli finance minister Smotrich called, Bezalel Smotrich is his name. Smotrich called the plan a resounding diplomatic failure, a closing of eyes, and turning our backs on the lessons of October 7th.
KSA Saudi Arabia.
I love how they waited for the end for the Israeli ones. Israel opposition politician Benny Gantz. President Trump's plan must be implemented. So what that's saying is that the current Israeli government is the fly in the ointment. Like, that is, if it doesn't work out, like, that's going to be the reason why. But the opposition, President Trump's plan must be implemented. Our hostages brought home. Israel's Operation Freedom maintained. Hamas's terror regime in Gaza replaced, and moderate Arab states instated instead, as I proposed a year and a half ago. Lebanon. Yeah, Lebanon welcomes it. Palestinian Authority, they welcome the announcement. Azerbaijan, the exchange of prisoners and hostage and addressing humanitarian needs need to happen. India, Modi welcomes the deal. Kazakhstan, the plan is a unique opportunity. Pakistan, I laud President Trump's leadership. Canada welcomes President Trump's historic plan. Mexico has had a position for years that dates back before the recognition of the Palestinian state, so that the policy of the Mexican government has been to recognize both states and build a peaceful solution. So it's possible, but I mean, like I said, the current Israeli government is truly the fly in the ointment. And if that happens, then it messes up Jewish prophecy. I have to believe. Then it's going to screw things up. And Netanyahu for years has been pushing forward on certain types of Jewish prophecy to bring about the third temple, and then the burning of the heifer and the new Messiah. And so I don't know if it's going to happen with Netanyahu there.
Yeah, dude, it's a very sordid situation over there. And this is all the peace deal. That's the 20-point peace deal that he released, right?
Yeah. So, Claire Cat, I'm not making any commentary on Smotrich's politics. Believe me, if you're in the Israeli government, I would imagine that you're probably one of the people that you just described. All I'm saying is that the opposition is in favor of the plan. Now, whether or not that's for their own political gain, obviously that remains to be seen. Because if you're the opposition in a small country like Israel, where Netanyahu has an outsized level of control, you're probably going to be, it's going to be like a Nancy Pelosi or a Hakeem Jeffries or a Chuck Schumer. Anything that makes your opposition look bad, you're probably going to get behind. But what's really in contention here is the participation of the current Israeli government.
Yeah, dude, they're again, they're losing people. They're losing people like me who just wanted to stay neutral in this. Yeah, you know, I was never like, it's a guy, but I was also like, I'd always cringe when people would be like, it's the Jews after, you know, their freaking sandwich comes with too much mayo, and they're like, the freaking Jews. What's the name of the Coke? You know,
too much mayo,
right? And it's like, you know, I cringed at both sides for a long time, and I'm not necessarily going towards it's the Jew side, because you know, I know there are tons of normal Jews, and I know most of the people in Israel are probably totally normal, cool people. But man, dude, everyone is now awake to their deep state. Their faction of deep state is massive. Again, what they're doing right now in the Gaza Strip, like, oh, it's horrible about the hostage. Yeah, that is horrible. So you're just bombing their entire city into fucking rubble. It's crazy to me. This is an example. This is a better example of what we were saying before. So with all the 9/11 stuff, and it's funny, this was exposed before 9/11, after the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, was the Al-Qifa refugee center in the Farouk Mosque in Brooklyn. And they were funding bin Laden. They were directly funding bin Laden and the Maktab al-Kinamet and all these organizations and Al-Qaeda, you know, the whole nine, right? This is like when this came out, is if they started just bombing Brooklyn into freaking rubble. That would be insane. Like, well, we have to get it. They were located in this building, and that building, and that building, and that building. It was a bunch of them. I think the blind Sheikh was one of them, and a whole bunch of people kind of tied up in this. That's what's happening right now in the Gaza Strip, and it's so bullshit. They're just trying to clear it out, ruin their houses, so they have to just leave. Then they're going to bulldoze it and just take it over and put new buildings up. Everyone sees what's happening, and it's gross, bro. It's fucking weird and gross. So Freedom One, that was what got us talking about Israel, was the $7,000 posts that influencers are being paid to post on behalf of Israel. Now, I mean, like personally, I don't think that foreign governments should be able to lobby in secret to Congress on anything. I think that every single effort to influence members of Congress or anyone who is an employee of the federal government, I think that should be done in public. And I don't think that it's not enough that we have the ability to just look up people's funds. It's not enough that we have the ability to just see that money was spent, because there are obviously conversations happening all over. And, you know, we've obviously talked about people with dual citizenship before. You know, as far as I know, that really doesn't happen with any nation to a large degree outside of Israel. I want to say that there's like one member of Congress who also happens to be a citizen of Ireland. Not exactly that concerned about that one. Because Ireland doesn't have the political pressure or cachet that Israel does. Certainly, they don't have the money to spend on it.
But all of these relationships with foreign governments, whether it's Qatar, whether it's Israel, it doesn't matter who it is to me. It's exemplary of the idea that these people who have taken oaths to the Constitution, who are elected to represent the best interests of the people of their districts or the people of their states, are not doing that. They are obviously representing the interests of those people who are paying the money. That's why what's his name from New Jersey just went to prison, or he's on his way to prison, him and his wife.
Bob Menendez.
Bob Menendez. And he's got his son. Isn't his son in Congress as well? Isn't his son a rep from New Jersey?
I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
there's a lot of reps out of New Jersey. I bet you there's like 13 to 15.
I'm pretty sure that his son's in politics as well. And so, I got to say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So there are all of these people who have dual loyalties. And I think that it's obviously a much greater dual loyalty when people are a citizen of another country, not just a citizen of the United States. Personally, I think
Menendez. Holy shit.
Yeah. So I don't think that people who have, I'm going to go so far as to say that I don't think people who were born citizens of another country should be allowed to become representatives or even elected officials in the United States.
Agreed. I agree 1,000,000%.
I think that to run for political office in the United States, you must be a natural born American citizen. That means that either your parents might have been able to emigrate here, but I think that as a representative or a office holder, you must have been born in this country, and you cannot have gained citizenship in another country. You cannot have been given it at birth. You cannot have served in another nation's military. You cannot have worked for another country. You must have your entire life dedicated yourself to public service and to that oath to the Constitution and the people that you plan to represent. And I don't think that's too much to ask. And I think that given the world that we live in, with so much corruption, money controlling people at every level, I think that it's just good business. And I think that we should err on the side of caution, because people have shown us time and time again that even if they were born here in the United States, they have no problem selling out their country, their state, or their district. Bob Menendez is a perfect example of that. Okay, right. Bob Menendez was dealing in the most obvious type of political glad handing, pay for play, quid pro quo, money for political decisions. And he did it on behalf of a number of countries, Qatar, on behalf of Egypt. I think there were a couple of other countries there, but I just don't see how we should allow that to happen any longer. I think that we have far too much at stake here with our nation, and I only want true-blooded Americans to be in a position to make decisions for our country.
Dude, I can't even believe that needs to be said out loud, but I can't.
Well, hold on. L. Wheelbarger says, I was born on an army base in Germany. That's different. That's actually U.S. soil. That counts as U.S. soil. Okay, so
like my grandfather was born in the Canal Zone.
Yes, yes,
he's an American citizen. Yeah,
correct. The same thing, John McCain. There was some controversy about John McCain because at the time that he was born in the Panama Canal, they had it made the decision that would count as a natural born American citizen. But then, but retroactively they did that. But yeah, like somebody like Ilhan Omar. Okay, she's the perfect example of somebody who emigrated from another country. She was granted citizen. First of all, she emigrated here because her family was like the communist ruling class who had destroyed Somalia. They were run out of the country.
On to the next one.
They were being persecuted for a damn good reason. All right. If they hadn't escaped that country by faking who they were and living in a refugee camp for a couple of years and then coming here, they never would have been granted the citizenship that they did. And so she is the type of Muslim immigrant who comes to the United States with no intention of assimilating into the culture and who became a representative so that she could fundamentally change the United States. Communism didn't work in Somalia, so what? She wants to come here to the United States and give it a shot in Minneapolis. She committed immigration fraud with her brother. I can't believe she's still even a citizen, and I can't believe she's sitting in Congress.
Yeah, Kash Patel, we want you to arrest Ilhan Omar. I would be down for it. I mean, I'd say what she's done is horrible, honestly. And if you were born in Kenya, we don't want you to be calling the shots in America, or maybe Indonesia, up for debate. Certainly not Hawaii. This is another thing too, is with the aid packages, with the foreign aid, it has to end. I mean, if there's like a country that is, some of these are like absolutely dire and what was send some food and stuff like that over there. Okay, yeah, man, maybe we could talk. But like Israel, there's so much money coming out of Israel. So many rich factions are in and around Israel, or at least supportive of Israel. Why did the American taxpayer have to give them $3.8 billion a year? This is going back to the package. This is a 10-year package that Barack Obama signed for $38 billion in military aid. Why? Why are we funding their military? Honestly, I wish, I hope this isn't re-up. This has been re-upped a few times now. And this was a 10-year one. It's up next September. So I hope, please, Trump, if you're out there, this would be the ultimate red pill ever. Is if you greatly decrease this and or just don't re-up it, because
end it.
Yeah, end it, dude. We're ending funding to all these UN programs, to all these other programs. Israel's fine money-wise. They do not need, this is our money. That money comes from our tax dollars. They don't need my money.
No, they don't need our money. I don't think so let's say theoretically that there is aid given to any nation. That should come with a return. Okay. Like, we should be granted land in that country. Okay. Or we should, or why don't we get like infrastructure projects? GDP. Percentage of their GDP. Why don't we get access to their natural resources market? Okay, like the United States government gets to develop their oil or their coal or something like that. You know, something that we are going to get a constant return on, so that it's not just pumping good money after bad. Because, you know, really over time, this has been about maintaining some type of diplomatic control over these countries. Okay, so we give them money. It basically subjugates them. They get addicted to the free money, and they never truly develop as a country. Can't say that for Israel. They are highly developed. Okay, they're highly sophisticated. So this is really just about giving money to them. And I would imagine it's because of their lobbying, the type of lobbying that they have.
Right. Yeah. And something along the lines of the mineral rights agreement we made with Ukraine recently, like things like that. If
that's the kind of thing that we need. Yes.
So there's no return on that money. And again, it's pretty crazy that those deals even exist, in my opinion.
Once the deal's up, I mean, what motive do they have to even do anything for us at that point? Like, they just got all of that free money. All right. And they can be like, well, we are considering now doing an aid package with China or with Russia or whatever like that, you know, and they can just go someplace else and they can just take the next highest bidder. Who's going to give us more free money? And it's almost like at that point, we're blackmailed into continuing it, and we get really nothing out of it. And, we sure as hell better get that mineral deal once the war is over in Ukraine. If Zelensky tries to renege on that, I think that's going to be some major problems for him.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, man. Yeah. And going to that pack, it's funny with the Obama, the narrative on Obama was that he was so hard on Israel. He was the least friendly president to Israel. And then right on his way, he signed a $40 billion aid package. Yeah. Oh man, that Obama, he sure got them. Well, some of us, we don't get money from any of these shitty countries, so we pay the bills by telling you guys about really cool products like Tamarick Gardens, who they are introducing their handcrafted herbal remedies, teas, and skincare made with weeds, wildflowers, and wild harvested herbs in the Pacific Northwest. Their products will heal your skin, boost collagen, lighten dark spots, and slow aging. Plus, it's safe for babies, grandmas, and everyone in between. From salves for headaches, bug bites, and arthritis to supplements for liver, kidney health, they harness God's bounty for your health and keep you out of the doctor's office. Family owned in North Idaho, Tamarack Gardens dermatologist recommended products support your body inside and out because your health deserves better. So visit tamarackgarden.com today with promo code Badlands. You will get free shipping on orders over $35. That's tamarackgarden.com, promo code Badlands. Thank you to all our wonderful Patriot sponsors who allow us to do this type of work. And we were obviously kidding. We would never take $7,000 from anyone to do a post that we didn't believe in. If it was something I was going to post anyway, throw it on. I'll take all the money you want. But yeah, it certainly would not compromise my morals ever for anything like that. Yeah.
No. I hope everybody knows I wouldn't take $7,000 per post either. Yeah. I was on my show earlier today. I was like, I think it's pretty obvious if you look at my shows and my timeline, I've never accepted any money from any government, even our government. And I might consider it if it was for President Trump, but I haven't. I simply haven't. Okay, so we have a couple of memes related to the shutdown that we wanted to share. But first of all, I wanted to actually share this AI video that someone had created, and it's a 1990s ad for an Epstein Island play kit. So obviously it doesn't really exist, but I could not believe I was blown away. So take a look.
Get ready to jet to fun with Secret Island. Fly in your own private plane, then unlock the hidden massage room. Whoa, secret room! Kick back with two chill old dudes and discover the treasure. Fly in on the private plane, pop open the door, and the old guys arrive in style.
There's treasure in here!
Hit the rock.
Bam!
Secret room packed with loot. Twist the volcano and...
Hit the panic button! Here goes! It's so loud!
Whoosh! Slide into the swirl! The squishiest blue and white... Any way you want. Stretch it. Splash it. Whoa, it opened. The only island with real working spy cams hidden in secret rooms. And I can see it on. Guard the treasure and fly in with your own private plane. Hey, new from Toy Island.
It's Orange Man.
Don't release the files.
Push his back and hear the real talking action.
He's guarding the top.
Release the file. Capture him, lock him up, and expand the adventure. Shh, don't tell anyone. Get ready.
These are crazy, dude. At least people are...
I can't believe like how real it looks and like how it captured the just the theme of the 90s, right? I mean,
yes.
Like that looks like it was a real toy kit in the 90s, and I don't know how they did that. Obviously, not all of it was something. I don't know who made it or what their politics were, but I have to appreciate the skill that went into it. All right, now. President Trump was on a meme tear this week. I think that you've got one first that you wanted to show.
Yeah, I got some commentary from one of our favorite senators.
Please welcome Robert Faggot.
It's a Chuck Schumer having a heart attack on the Senate floor.
Yesterday, the president posted an offensive deepfake AI video of Leader Jeffries and me.
No.
Sombreros, fake music, impersonating my voice through AI. It wasn't me.
That wasn't him?
Talking even more lies about healthcare and immigration. Listen to this, America. Hours away from a shutdown, which we don't want, the American people don't want, the president is busy trolling away on the internet like a 10-year-old. And that's exactly why Americans are going to blame him if the government shuts down. That's another proof point. Yesterday, the president...
He's acting like a 10-year-old on the internet. And that's exactly why Americans would vote for him again and again and again, because we're so sick of you people.
Yes,
but this is what he's talking about. And it's the best thing I've seen in so long.
There's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
I love that the president of the United States posted a fake meme of a senator saying that they're woke pieces of shit.
Dude,
this is what I voted for.
This is my favorite timeline. So would you pull up mine? This is actually a different camera angle of Chuck Schumer responding to that meme. So take a look at this because it actually picked up something that we missed in the first one.
Yesterday, the president posted an offensive deepfake AI video of Leader Jeffries and me with sombreros, fake music, impersonating my voice through AI. It wasn't me. Talking even more lies about healthcare and immigration. Listen to this, America. Yesterday.
Oh, what a time to be alive.
I would suggest following this guy Zerius because he's got a ton of really good ones.
Yeah,
and I followed him. He followed me back. Sweet. he's got good memes. He's got really good memes. So on my show today, I said, because JD said, I swear the sombrero memes will end if you just if you work with us to open the government. And I played this and I was like, but it's obviously not going to stop all the memes from the internet.
And Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, say it to my face.
Deport all illegal aliens. Deport all illegal aliens.
And Mr. President,
I am amazed with what we can do with AI now, and the fact that POTUS is posting memes along this line, it's just so brilliant. Absolutely love it. And this is truly why I voted for him as well.
In my eye. It's so beautiful.
It is. It's so beautiful. Oh God.
Even Jeffries is such a tool bag, dude.
Oh, he is.
He really is. I mean, it's entertaining, don't get me wrong, but man, he is the worst ever.
Oh, look at this. Did you see this? This is real. This definitely happened. But today, so there's a new operation that started in Memphis. I have a couple of different clips to share on that. But today, CNN was reporting from Memphis, and something happened while they were live. Go ahead and pull that up.
FBI, it's been an alphabet soup of law enforcement as we've seen them get ready and go out and make more than 50 arrests were made just last night, 20 guns taken off the street in the last 48 hours. You see people like this who is behind me with this sign. He has around and show what he's saying. He's hoping that this action by Trump will help make the city safer. Take a listen to a man that we talked to in a neighborhood that basically says he welcomes the idea of this federal action.
That's beautiful.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Okay, and they had a press conference. They had a press conference from there. Take a listen to Stephen Miller in no uncertain terms telling the people of Memphis exactly what the heck is going on.
To the Memphis Police Department, to the officers that I see sitting in front of me, we are about to provide you with a level of support you cannot even imagine. This isn't just a task force. This is a all of government unlimited support operation. ATF, DEA, FBI, ICE, Department of War, every resource we have. And they're not going to be sitting behind a desk at a keyboard. We are sending in real cops with guns and badges to go out with you on the street every single night making arrests. These are people who have taken down drug cartels, kingpins, the worst criminal offenders in the United States, standing with you shoulder to shoulder to shoulder. All we ask from you is to show up at roll call every single night with your brothers and sisters in the federal government and to go out and get the criminals off the street. And if you do that, I pledge to you, we will liberate this city from the criminal element that has plagued it for generations. This is not just a strategy shift. This is an attitude shift. We are not going to live in an environment anywhere where there is a street that belongs to a criminal, where there is a neighborhood that belongs to a gang, where there is any physical space anywhere that belongs to anyone other than the law-abiding citizens and families of Memphis. The idea that there is a square inch of block in this city where a citizen doesn't feel safe is unacceptable. This is Memphis. This is the United States of America, and all that bullshit is done. It's over. It's finished.
Woo! I love it, dude. I think Miller to be president. I would legitimately vote for him to be president.
Yeah, I think he's awesome, and I can't get enough of him. I think that his like policy points are dead on. I think he's 100% behind the president, and he is clearly an excellent messenger for the types of change that we want to see and that we are making happen on the streets of the United States.
He has an incredible skill at articulating exactly what he wants to say, which I am jealous of because I am a rambler myself. But yeah, beautifully put.
Bit of a rambler myself, so I totally understand. Yeah.
I told you about the midnight rambler. Yeah, and a perfect point too to what we were saying kind of in the middle of this. We were talking about the Israeli deep state, versus people who are like, it's the Jews, which I've always seen as a psyop because just the generic it's the Jews it's the most cancelable thing ever. Right. So if you are evil, you want people to just go down that blanket whataboutism path, right? That generalism path. And two, it's that's the sort of rhetoric that doesn't get people hyper focused on specific bad actors in the Israeli government or in the Israeli Secret Service type deals. That's this type of rhetoric that gets regular college kids just trying to go to their class who happen to be Jewish harassed by other people who are not going past the surface level. So again, perfect example, like Stephen Miller, he's Jewish. That dude is amazing. And I'm sure that dude would F the Israeli deep state to death if given the chance, as well as the American deep state, which they're very vocally doing right now. And it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And Homeland Security announced that Kilmar Abrego Garcia just received his final removal order today. This MS-13 gang member, human trafficker, domestic abuser, and child predator will never be loose on American streets. His lawyers tried to fight his removal from the U.S., but one thing is certain, this Salvadoran man is not going to be able to remain in our country. He will never be allowed to prey on innocent Americans again. Never forget the Democrats flew to a foreign land on the U.S. taxpayers' dime to break bread with this terrorist gang member and visit him in prison. While they continue to fight for criminal illegal aliens, we will continue to put the safety of the American people first. Now, you haven't heard one word from the Democrats today on Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and that's because it is no longer a line that is usable in their narrative. Like, it's done. It's over. The man is going back to El Salvador, and that's it. Well, actually, he's not going to El Salvador. He's going to like the middle of nowhere in Africa. So it's no longer politically expedient. There's no capital there for them. They can't use him anymore. So it's over and done with. He's gone, and they're never going to be able to bring him back.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Peace and good riddance.
Yeah, absolutely. He's being held in a Pennsylvania prison for now, but with this final order, he can now be successfully remanded to his his future accommodations. So, what African country is Abrego Garcia going to? Okay, so immigration judge on Wednesday denied the motion for him to reopen the case. And in the final order, Regional Deputy Chief Immigration Judge Philip Taylor said Abrego Garcia's motion to reopen the case to seek asylum is untimely because he filed his motion nearly 6 years after his immigration proceedings, which are beyond the 90-day deadline. There is insufficient evidence that the Department of Homeland Security has decided to remove Abrego Garcia to Uganda, Eswatini, or any other third world country after the DHS sent his attorney's notice in August saying that they may deport him to Uganda. The word may is permissive and indicates to the court that in sending this notification to respondent's counsel, the department sought to convey that it reserved the right to remove him to Uganda, not necessarily that it intended to do so, that it had decided to do so, or that it would do so imminently. The immigration judge also said that evidence Abrego Garcia provided in his motion arguing for protection due to his fear that he may be tortured or killed by the Salvadoran government because he's labeled an MS-13 gang member is insufficient. Taylor said that when Abrego Garcia was detained in El Salvador's CCOT mega prison, he was not subjected to the conditions described in his country's conditions evidence, and he added that Garcia indicated he was not specifically singled out by CCOT guards before his mistreatment started or while it was even taking place. The respondent does not indicate that the guards made any statements or otherwise indicated that they believed him or the other deportees to be gang members, and they do not appear to have imputed MS-13 gang membership to him. Notably, while prison officials interrogated respondent about his alleged gang membership and took the pictures of his tattoos, they did not mistreat him during the interrogation. His lawyers tried to fight his removal from the U.S., but one thing is certain, the DHS said, this Salvadoran man is not going to be able to remain in our country. Now, if I was I would be a little bit freaked out because it seemed like he got the red carpet treatment when he was in El Salvador. I mean, you saw the videos and the pictures. He gained weight while he was in prison. I mean, like they were cooking their own food. He's playing football. He's doing gardening. He's got all kinds of books he can read. I mean, he was in a pretty good position. And because he fought it, now he's come back here and they're going to send him to, Eswatini. Never even heard of that place until the Trump administration said they wanted to send him there. And I can only imagine how less accommodating the accommodations are in Eswatini. Let's see if we can figure out what's happening in Eswatini. Let's see. Oh my God. Share my He's gonna be living in a grass hut in the middle of nowhere.
Oh my gosh, dude. This guy messed up.
Okay, share that. All right. So, that's actually not so bad. But I mean, still, you're in the middle of the hot African desert. That don't look too bad. That's actually pretty beautiful. But
yeah, but it's nothing there though.
Let's look up Eswatini prison. Okay. So yeah, it definitely not going to be that great.
I'm sure that prison is horrific. Dude should have just left. Dude should have just self-deported when they put out the freaking call. Self-deport and not. So
go on with you.
Yeah.
Matapsa Correctional Complex, Swaziland. I don't even know if that's another country. Like, the borders are fluid here.
Swaziland sounds like another country. I feel like I've heard that before.
Eswatini. Volunteering. It actually looks like a pretty beautiful country. I'm sure they probably got like the best shithole in the country that they can keep him in, though.
Yeah, a lot of stuff over there in South America and all them are beautiful.
Yeah.
But gotta be careful if you don't know the terrain, man.
Yeah. He's gonna be eating fly patties, Flagstorm says. Seventh Whale says Garcia can think 15 seconds into the future, unlike the Eswatinis. Swaziland used to be Zambia. Okay, yeah, again, everything is so fluid down there.
Yeah. Forever in motion.
Yeah. I would imagine that the rest of his life is probably not going to be that great, and I could care less about it. Perfectly comfortable with that. I think that there's far too much attention that's paid to the living conditions of people in prisons. Like it's prison, bro. It's not supposed to be great. Not supposed to be comfortable.
Yep, exactly. I think
not summer camp.
They had the right attitude, and was it starts with what was? It keeps going to say Australia. What's the state next to New Zealand? Arizona. when they were doing the prison down there, where they were out in the tents and shit like that.
You're talking about Sheriff Joe.
Sheriff Joe, yeah, Arpaio, yeah, or whatever.
Sheriff Arpaio, yeah.
Arpaio, yeah, that's the way to go, man. Well, we've come to the end of yet another Wednesday evening with our friends here. But we did have a couple super chats, a Awakened question here.
What about boosts? We got to look up boosts. Also, Petty 429 gifted a subscription earlier in the show, and it looks like that was picked up by Yazman19 over on Rumble. And I do see Deep Patriot 1776 says JD Vance's response to the sombrero meme at the press conference today was priceless. Great show, guys. Thank you for that. And also Sean Joe over on Pilled dropped a cookie. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, no boosts, but
no boosts. Okay.
We do have also one other super chat here. It says, Zach, I'm glad you're feeling better. Awakened questioner says, you didn't misrepresent anyone. God has a sense of humor, though. I literally found someone who believes the shooting involved a hologram yesterday.
Oh, you did find somebody? Yeah, I was just joking. The other day, and I said something about I don't think that Charlie was hologrammed, like, because I had seen somebody suggest that it was a hologram, or that it was a makeup or something like that. And just my only point was, I don't think that the death was faked. And I've seen a lot of people. I saw somebody decoding a Charlie Kirk tweet from 12 years ago as well, which I just felt like that was a little far.
Oof. Oh, what a time we live in, Zach.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, the one thing that I am sure of is that I don't trust the official narrative, and so that's why I don't like ridicule anybody who doesn't believe what I believe, because opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. And in the absence of real information, everybody's just trying to fill the gaps. And that's totally reasonable to me, and you have an event like, a tragic event, which seems to have so many competing pieces of information, and there's just no way. You're not going to have consensus on anything like that.
Yep, exactly, dude. Yeah, everyone's just trying to figure it out, and that's cool. That's what we do in this community.
Yeah,
I personally, I think it was real too. Again, the official narrative seems weird. And who knows? Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. It could have literally gone down exactly how they said. That is possible. But man, a lot of times it winds up not being. Yeah, it winds up not being possible.
Yeah.
ZBM, as we're on our way out here, says, random quiz: was the U.S. Navy officially established to fight the British during the Revolution, or after that to fight the Barbary pirates? Cheers, gents.
I don't know. I guess I just assumed that we had a Navy.
I don't think we had a Navy during the Revolutionary War.
No, but I mean, at the point that the Navy was created, I thought that, it was I didn't think that it was to fight pirates. I thought it was just to keep our borders safe.
Huh?
It was the pirates. May 60 says it was the pirates.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
That's a pretty badass reason to be created.
Hell yeah. Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you haven't yet, please do me a favor. Hit that like button. That would be awesome. We've got 2,300 people here and only 619 people hit the like button. 5 people don't like the show tonight. I'm sorry about that. They must be getting $7,000 a post from Israel.
Clearly.
All right. I love each and every one of you, though, regardless of whether or not you agree with us. Just glad you're here. And I hope that you guys will all have a good time at DPH. Now, here's the thing. Oh, ZBM says answer after to fight the Barbary pirates. Yes, you are correct, sir. So DPH is featured. So they've already got more viewers than us, but we will go ahead. We will go ahead and set up the whatchamacallit. The raid. Oh, Sherry Amy says, thanks, Brad and Zach. Appreciate you. And thank you so much. I'll go ahead and do this. Now, the raid system has been changed. So now you have to opt into the raid after we confirm it. So, oh no, I guess now you have to opt out. The other night it said opt in. Now it says opt out. All right. Well, listen, have a good time at the raid. Have a good time at DPH, and we'll see you guys next time. I'll be live tomorrow at 5.
Yeah.
Peace.
Thank you so much for joining us, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up on this video. And a special thank you to all of our advertising partners. Please remember to shift your dollars to support those businesses that support Badlands Media.